Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's Zane JJ. Today we're coming back a video basically talking about the Ethereum ETF that is upcoming, and of course I'm gonna do some comparison like what is the Bitcoin ETF all about, and of course why is this ETF like important, and of course I will say lastly itself what is my thoughts about this ETF itself, and of course should you buy more Bitcoin or Ethereum. But of course I will say this video itself is just for your own general knowledge slash entertainment. It is not a focused video telling you that what should you buy or whatsoever. I'm not a financial advisor, unfortunately, and of course I will say that I'm not going to ask you to buy what with your money. And of course you have to really do your own research before diving into the crypto market, because the crypto space itself is a wild west. We can see like within 7 days itself there is like a 7% gains, and of course there can be crazy amounts of gains, 165%, 19% negative. You can lose your money within a single freaking day in the crypto space. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notification for videos, and do check out my Discord and Telegram if let's say you are looking to join a community. So without further ado, we are going to talk about why is this ETF important. So over here for this ETF itself, if let's say you are totally new to the space about investing itself, basically ETF itself is called the exchange traded funds. As shown on this video itself, is basically a pool of investment securities that can be bought and of course sold as much as like an individual stock. And of course the main difference between the ETF and the mutual fund itself, through a mutual fund it is put investment blah 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 itself. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you guys. If let's say you want to read it, pause the screen and read the whole thing yourself. So the key takeaway itself is ETF itself is basically bundling something that is not accessible slash troublesome to retrieve or basically to buy itself, like gold for example. If let's say you are going to buy like gold, you want to buy like gold, digital gold itself, you are looking to buy like the ETF gold. So this company out there filed for the ETF, and of course from there they launch about take time to basically apply for the licensing. Then after that put it on a stock exchange, then people can start buying the ETF. And of course on top of that they are telling people that this ETF itself is basically backed by the actual thing like gold itself. You are buying the paper gold, and of course buying this itself you are a fraction owner of this part of like whatever storage that they have for this ETF. So why is it important itself? I would say technically for the Southeast Asia unit itself, for us like in Singapore, in like maybe other places in the world except for the United States itself, if you're in the US itself, the ETF is definitely going to be very important to you, because the ETF itself, once it's enabled, technically you are able to invest into that fund itself. But for Southeast Asia people, other region, not only the Southeast Asia, maybe like other places that do not really require you to invest into, that means you can invest into cryptocurrency as and when you like it. You do not need like a special permit or licensing. But why is this very important itself? I would say because the US market itself is one of the major, basically they are the one that holds lots of capital. Basically the US is freaking rich, and of course once the US intend to invest into something or do something with their money itself, I would say the whole world will follow, and after that this will make like a domino effect, making like a bubble. If let's say the people are already approving it, like in the ETF, in the crypto space, basically they touched it, and after the once they say it's approved by the SEC, the market itself will definitely boom, because there's a lot of interest in the crypto market. So ETF itself, technically it is very important for the crypto market to grow in the US dollar value itself. But of course in like technical terms itself, it does not really affect much on this type of like whatever you want to call it. For this ETF itself, I would say ETF to us is not really important, but for the value, the dollar value itself, definitely it is very important. If let's say you are in the crypto space to make some money or stuff, everyone is here to make some money. So we're going to talk about the Bitcoin ETF outcome. So if let's say you have been like in the crypto space, or let's say suddenly you know about Bitcoin, but suddenly in the media, and of course mainstream media, and of course from your friends or family members, suddenly they're talking about, hey, Bitcoin is going up again. Then you'll be thinking, how much is going up? The last time I see it during COVID, it was like $3,000 or even $5,000. How much is it now? Oh my freaking god, it's 51,000 now. It 10x in like how many within 2 years? How the fuck did this happen? Blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna tell you the outcome of this ETF itself, how powerful it is. So I'm going to click on the Bitcoin chart itself. We're just going to look at the price. Over here, we're going to look at 1 year ago. You see 1 year ago, let's say you bought in like 1 year ago exactly, it was around 22,000. You basically double your money if you bought 1 year ago one whole Bitcoin, or maybe a fraction of whatever it is. So we're going to show you like what is the ETF itself. The ETF for Bitcoin, it is 10 January. So we're just going to zoom back, go back in time itself. So we have 2024 itself, 10 of January. So we hear this period itself was during, is a pump itself because of the ETF approval date. And after that, why should I mean, like if you, let's say you're looking at it, why did it pump before the ETF date itself? Because people who are excited about this, or investors who are really like ready to buy the Bitcoin to make a short-term gains or whatsoever, 10th of January itself is the very crucial date for Bitcoins like ETF approval date from the SEC itself is the deadline for that, because the SEC has already been people already been filing for this ETF since many years ago, and after that eventually it got rejected, disapproved, and after that SEC need more time to investigate slash do their due diligence before they open it to the whole United States market for people to basically play itself, for like a normal person to play, not for like a accredited investor itself. So why is this important? Because normally in the traditional funds itself, if let's say you want to invest into any type of instrument, you might need to be an accredited investor itself, meaning you need to earn like 200k per year, and after you need to have like loads of money, equity, and after that basically a lot of liquid lying around. Basically you're freaking rich to invest and you can afford to lose this kind of high risk investment. So the US itself, they are basically making this ETF itself for all the normal people to buy in, basically using this ETF tool itself, so everyone can buy it on a stock exchange anytime you want, digital, and after that from there. So over here, the outcome itself, you can see that during this date itself, the price of Bitcoin was 46,000, and as of today, it's around 51,000, and it's growing because why I would say during this period itself, when the ETF was really approved, within 1 week itself, the hedge fund that basically issued this ETF itself, they will need to buy Bitcoin. Basically, I already told you in the start of the video, if let's say you are going to buy like gold ETF, you have to basically, you put the money into this paper itself, and once they collected this money from the paper, they are going to buy the actual product to show on the, basically the rule itself, they need to show on the paper and of course on their balance sheet that they do own this asset, and after that, one share of this ETF itself is equivalent to how much gold slash Bitcoin. So they are buying up lots of Bitcoin to basically, I mean, the interest is there, people are putting their money into all this type of ETF, and of course there's a wording mentioned that I'm going to explain to you later on. And after that, from there, this ETF itself, the hedge fund are basically collecting all the funds, like you want to call it like a fundraiser or something, yes, something like that. They collected all the funds, and as of today, they need to buy like to accumulate all the Bitcoins that they can get their hands on to basically back up their ETF itself to show that they are legit. And after that, from there, there was within the launch itself, there was a few hedge fund. If I'm not wrong, there's only one hedge fund showing their clear Bitcoin address, telling you that this is my address, this is the ETF address, and after that how much Bitcoin is inside. And of course from there, it is a totally transparent auditing section that you can do itself. Why is this very important itself? Because this transparency itself is always needed, because if let's say you look at the gold ETF itself, you can't really see or measure how many how many tons of kilo of gold that this ETF bought. And of course there is no real audit itself. They can just lie about the numbers, they can bribe all around to show that, oh, I got this like 10,000 tons of gold, and after that my ETF is worth this amount, so buy my ETF, something like that. So for Bitcoin itself, it's totally transparent, and of course from there, this is a very good practice for all of the institution out there to basically gain trust of your investors. So I would say this is very important. So the outcome itself already boomed the market. So we can see back then, not much news about it. Bitcoin was just slowly pumping up, and after that suddenly it pumped up because it's nearing the ETF like approval itself. And of course, one wordy mention about this Bitcoin ETF itself, yes, it's approved. So you might be thinking it's gonna be stagnant over here. Unfortunately, no, because Bitcoin halving is coming on April itself in around less than a month time. I would believe that this halving itself effect is definitely going to pump the price even higher, because to generate one Bitcoin as of today, I believe it's around 22,000 US dollar to generate. From the miner side itself, the point of view, how much energy is needed to generate this one single Bitcoin itself is around 30,000 if I'm not wrong. And of course, with this halving coming, basically the reward is going to get slashed into half, making it more harder to generate a one Bitcoin itself. Maybe you will need to have like $60,000 worth of energy to basically accumulate to generate this one single Bitcoin. Therefore, the price itself is somehow controlled by the miners itself, because they are the one producing the new Bitcoin, and after that, from there, they are the one also somehow setting the market out, I would say. So this is just like a speculation slash inside knowledge from, not say inside knowledge, it's just basically through the experience that I have in the crypto market, knowing about crypto mining and stuff like this. So this is how the price of Bitcoin come about, aga something like that. So we're gonna talk about the ETF of Ethereum. So after the Bitcoin ETF has really been like approved, basically some of the ETF out there, I mean, some of the institution, they are basically applying for this ETF. And after that, from there, this is a bit conspiracy. I'm not say conspiracy, but a bit of debate, because Ethereum itself is proof of stake. And after that, during the SEC debate itself, they say that this Ethereum itself, it is what is that, securities, not a commodity, because of the Ethereum staking function. So I would say this over here is gonna be a hell of a debate, and after that, from there, it's gonna see. I mean, we're just gonna look at the outcome during May itself. So the ETF itself is gonna be coming up on May, and after that, from there, we can see that as of today, the price of Ethereum itself is not much. It's around 3,000. I would say 3,000 is okay, fair enough. Because if we look at the price of Ethereum all-time itself, the all-time high was around 4,000, 4.8 thousand. And after that, as of today itself, we can see that the price is climbing up once again. And after that, why is it? It's basically, I believe, it's fueled by this ETF announcement that is coming in May. And after that, people are trying to accumulate it. So we're just going to look at the supply itself. It is an infinite supply for Ethereum itself. And I believe Ethereum is here to stay. And I'm going to give you my thoughts later on. So talk about this ETF itself, the Ethereum sports ETF itself is coming application. So who is applying? So over here we can see that this there are some of the state ETF that is already running, and after that, from there, this over here is somehow, I mean, the SEC side itself have to approve this ETF. So I mean, the big players that we want to see is basically, if you see BlackRock touching anything, definitely the ETF is like, I would say 80% it is gonna be like approved. Because why is that so? Because BlackRock itself, we look at the whole global economy itself, it is 100 trillion, and BlackRock itself, they own around 10 trillion, so they own 10% of the world. So whatever they try to touch itself definitely will turn into the gold rock instead of the black rock. So we get the ETF date itself is expected in May, and after that, how will the price react? Definitely the price itself, I already told you in the start, I mean, during the Bitcoin section, for the ETF to be approved, it need to be backed by something. So the hedge funds is the proof itself. The hedge fund like BlackRock, they have tons of money and tons of reputation out there. So people are willing to basically buy with BlackRock itself, buy their ETF, and after that, many more big names out there, like Validity, and after that, many more out there. All of these hedge fund basically trying to touch the crypto market itself. So ETF itself, once it's approved, Ethereum definitely is gonna go higher up in value. So I'm just gonna link like the article down below for this Google Finance, and after that, I mean Yahoo Finance, and after that the Bitcoin.com article, if let's say you are interested. Then I'm gonna link this tracker itself down below as well on the description. So click on it if you want to know more. Then lastly, we're gonna give you my thoughts, and after that, I'm gonna end this long ass video. So I would say the ETF itself is highly likely going to be approved, because it's since the approval of like Bitcoin ETF, it's gonna take like around 3 more months for May to happen. Basically left 2.5 months or something like that for them to basically get the knowledge up to basically approve this ETF itself. Then after that, for why am I confident in this ETF being approved? Because it is BlackRock. Because honestly, BlackRock's control almost the whole world itself. So might be thinking like, hey, he only own 10 trillion of this assets itself, but honestly the global economy itself is 100 trillion, and owning 10% of that, it is basically as good as controlling lots of things. And we can see that whatever they are holding itself, this company Apple holds another company, and after that Nvidia itself, you also, I believe that they have all this sub company that they own itself, and eventually these are all the holdings that they have, like Amazon, Google, Alphabet itself, Microsoft. All of these companies is very big company out there. They basically own tons of smaller company. So BlackRock is invested into them, and they probably have a big share on them and after that, from there you can see that this how the world works itself. If let's say you control majority of market, highly likely things are going to go your way if let's say this is going to be approved, because this itself is money. Because ETF itself, they collect fees on this type of ETF, so it is going to be heck of an earning for them itself. And of course, from the price gain itself of this ETF itself, definitely is going to be higher and higher. And of course, the price go higher, then after that, for us nobody itself, I would say a normal investor, to get a single Ethereum or Bitcoin itself, is going to be slightly harder to retrieve one itself, because the price is always going up. So for Bitcoin itself, the dream is, I believe Bitcoin's price itself is going to be stagnant at maybe 30,000. If let's say the lowest is going to happen, it is going to only touch the 30,000 and go back up. It will never go below 30,000 as of today. I believe so, because of the mining situation, and of course the ETF approval and stuff like that. And of course, there's people dumping their Bitcoin itself to take their profit. And who's taking all the money? I mean, you want money itself, the hedge fund is willing to give it to you because the hedge fund is competing to basically accumulate the 21 million Bitcoin that is circulating out there. Unfortunately, around 6 million or so is already been like burnt slash lost. So there's only like around 18 or even 15 million worth of Bitcoin that is really circulating as of today itself. So the hedge fund itself will definitely try their best way to retrieve everything. And of course, whoever owns the most Bitcoin in the future itself is definitely going to have a say in the overall market, because this is digital gold, and after that it is a limited supply. It really defeats a lot of inflationary slash existing monetary policy out there. If let's say you understand, you will understand. If let's say you do not understand what I'm saying, I will say you will basically, if you're interested in that, go dig more about monetary system around the world, and after that how it works itself, and you look at Bitcoin's monetary system, you will understand something and you will value Bitcoin as much as I do. And after that, from there, I will say this is just a thought, not a financial advice asking you to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum to pump your pocket. I mean, to pump my pocket or something like that. I do not own like lots of Bitcoin or Ethereum itself, but I would say that I have a fair holding. I have more than one Bitcoin, definitely. Ethereum, yes, I have 32 Ethereum to do staking. Definitely, these are the numbers I'm going to tell you. And of course, I'm going to hold one Bitcoin until I die or something like that to pass down to the next generation, because I believe one Bitcoin itself in the future is going to get you a lot of many stuff. So this is just my own belief system, and of course it is up to you to believe or not. And I would say that I've come to the end of the video. If you have not smashed the like button, smash it. And after that, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye. Peace.